What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcast, and for tonight's coverage of the ARCA Evolution Series, brought to you by the Evolution Racing Leagues here at Kentucky. It's going to be a fun night, but before we get to the race in action, got to cover our sponsors that keep the show going. First, we're going to have Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central is the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Next, we've got Sheffield Graphics. Sheffield Graphics is the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It is a great non-profit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. And our joint sponsor here for the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast, the ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air like a traditional speaker, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful bass response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game, no additional software required. So be sure to go check them out. And if you stop in to get yourself a game or two or one of their other fine products, be sure to use the discount code FreakyFast20 to get yourself 20% off. Remember, that is FreakyFast with 2 E's, FreakyFast20. I am Brandon Colley up here taking over the ad reads right now. Zach Hall going to be a little bit late to the show, but be joining us a little bit later. And also going to have Robert Moyer in the booth for a little while and in production running these fine cameras as always. Man, I'm excited about this race, Robert. Kentucky, a pretty fun track, especially since the remodel here not too long ago. It kind of changed up the grip levels a little bit and widened out the racing action, I feel.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's gonna be fun to watch these guys go around here, Kentucky. One of the funnest tracks to race at, and you're gonna see a lot of side by side racing, like you said, with the recently new model of what they did here and everything, and the speeds that they're gonna be able to carry around this track here. As you can see, a lot of these guys are running down into the low 30s, high 30s. Well, we got three cars in the 30s, and then everybody else is in the 31 flats, basically. Look at that. We got a 3102, a 3103, 05, 06. Holy mackerel.
At times they're pretty close for a lot of guys. So far now, it looks like Anthony Gaudio in the 3 last week's second place finisher. Top of the board in practice here with a pretty quick lap, 30.757. Justin Malarkey next on that board with a 30.9. So a little over a 10th and a half advantage there for Gaudio so far in practice. Have to see if he can transition that into qualifying.
I'll have to see what he can do here as practice is wrapping up here with these guys. Race number 15, round number 16, concluding the All-Star race here with the ARCA Evolution Racing League here at RSR with Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So hopefully, oh man, hit the wall pretty hard there. So hopefully we see a good race. I do believe we do, and we have a lot of different drivers now. My question is going to be, looking at the lap times there, Brandon, do you think we might have a chance to see a new winner this week?
I think it's very possible, but Anthony Gaudio is looking pretty stout for practice. I'm wondering. I'm wondering if maybe Richard Gonzalez, again showing a lot of speed here, might be able to just carry on and have that good run throughout the race and actually close it out there, not get caught up in something, have some bad luck here. Maybe be able to bring home that first victory. Matt Upbrook also not too far behind. So I think we've got a lot of potential for maybe a first-time winner tonight, but there's always the favorites. I mean, we've got Anthony Gaudio, like I talked about, as well as Christopher Smerol, always seems to be really fast. Stephen Carey still there knocking on the door. I believe he has not gotten a win yet this season, so he's definitely a strong contender for that as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of drivers actually contender to see if we can get a new winner here. So make sure you stay tuned. Watch the whole race here, and we'll find out if we get a new winner or we get a back-to-back winner, or do we just get another winner that won before. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. And I do apologize. Normally me and Brandon don't call races. Zach Hall will be back up in the booth here very shortly. I do believe he's out running around getting some funnel cakes, and I know they don't have hot dog. Well, they have hot dogs here, but they're not Martinsville hot dogs, so God knows what that guy's getting to eat.
Yeah, they're not the Martinsville hot dogs. Zach's staying away from them. He loves those things. I think I got a text message from him. He said the concession stand line was a little bit long, and then he had to run to the little boys' room as well. And you know how it is at the racetrack. You got to stand in line for about an hour to get into one of those.
That's what I was going to say. Is he's standing there playing on his phone, waiting an hour to get in line?
It seems like it.
That, or he's buying souvenirs. And you can make sure you go to our merch over at Freaky Fast Broadcasting on the Facebook side of things. And you can find our merch page right there. We'll link you right to our merch page. You can get some t-shirts, coffee mug, whole bunch of different stuff. But it looks like qualifying is wrapping up here very shortly here, Brandon. And right now we got Anthony sitting on the pole with a 30.80. So there we do. We got 3 more vehicles in the 30s.
Well, I got to point out how beautiful of a segue that was, Robert, to throw it to our merch store for not being in the booth quite as often as you used to be. Haven't lost your touch there, but yeah, Anthony Gaudio top of the board for qualifying as well as practice. About a half a tenth off of what he ran in practice, but still got a lot of speed in that 3 machine. And Jeff Carson sitting third on the board right now. I know he's looking to get up there and get some wins. Came very, very close to rebounding and getting that win for the Charlotte race just a little while ago. After winning the All-Star race in Charlotte, looked really, really strong, got caught up, able to rebound just a little bit short. So he's tasted victory. Let's see if he can get a points paying win here to go along with it.
And at 83 here, we're watching him go around. He's going to try to put down a second lap. Right now, his fastest lap is a 30.91. Puts him up in third position. He was up in the top 3 in practice, so we'll see if he can put this thing on the pole here, Brandon, as he's bringing it across the start-finish line. And does he improve? No. 31.51. Wow, that is a way slower lap than his first lap.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at the amount of fall off from lap 1 to lap 2. Normally, qualifying, it seems to be your second lap is generally going to be your fastest. So to see that much fall off on the second lap, pretty surprising. They're about 0.6 off, in fact. So a pretty substantial amount of fall off there. I wonder if he got loose or just swung out a little bit wide where he wouldn't like to. And this qualifying, these guys, not the biggest field right now. Some guys getting word, some guys having to miss out because of work. But, you know, work comes first. Got to make your money. But they're already about put down all of their qualifying laps here. I believe Josh Holmes and, well, now I think Matt Upbrook. Josh Holmes coming across for his last lap. Matt Upbrook going to be the only one to not complete 2.
Yeah, it looks like his 31. Now he completed his second lap. Does he improve, though? No. Wow. That's kind of... He's way slower in qualifying than he was in practice. That's very interesting.
Yeah, and I wonder if it just has to do with the track temp changing a little bit, maybe coming in early in the practice session when it was a little bit cooler, a little bit less rubber on the track. Might have something to do with that. But a slight improvement for Matt Upbrook, but not enough to move him anywhere on the board there. So he's going to be rolling off 10th now. But qualifying results are in. It looks like top of the board here going to be Anthony Gaudio, bringing home that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award. Get a word in with him here shortly. Second's going to be Justin Malarkey. Stephen Carey in third position, Jeff Carson in the 81 in fourth, Brian Fine fifth, Richard Gonzalez sixth, Justin Hendry in the seventh position, Chris Smerol, shocking qualifying result there out of the 14 in eighth position, points leader David Edwards in ninth, Matt Upbrook in 10th position, Harold Rothery 11th, Josh Holmes 12th, Jake Ashea 13th, Stephen Rasick 14th, Matthew Dude 15th, and Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. rounding out your field in 16th position.
All right, that's going to be your starting grid here tonight at Kentucky with Evolution Racing League. And like you said, we are going to find our pole sitter of Anthony. We'll bring him to the waiting room here. All right, and we'll bring him down, and Brandon will have a quick talk with him.
Hey, Anthony, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, bud, that 3 machine looking pretty as always, and even prettier from the front row. So congratulations on getting that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here at Kentucky. I know you were a little bit bummed out about that second place finish at Watkins Glen, just missing it on a little mistake there, man. You think you can rebound today? You're looking pretty fast.
Yeah, car feels good. Let's just hope we keep together for race trim, and you know, that's it. It feels fast. Smaller field tonight.
Well, excited to see you guys get after it, man, and try to keep that paint clean. Got to keep it nice and shiny for us up here, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, Anthony, I'm going to pull you up to the waiting room. What room were you in where I grabbed you because I didn't pay attention? Where?
JCR.
Okay. Let me see if I can. I'll pull you up here. If it lets me. All right. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I am a rookie at this. Normally Zach Hall does this. JCR. Where's JCR?
I can get him, I think.
Oh, I found it.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, well, green flag is out.
The hiccup there did not slow Anthony Gaudio down at all. Got a good jump on the green flag here. Justin Malarkey just was outside. They're going to be side by side through turn 1. That outside lane's got a little bit of grip up there. You can definitely defend. I think as the run goes on, you're going to see guys kind of hanging it out a little bit more to that middle line. Looks like some got buddy getting into it back there.
Oh, we have a what? All right, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, because we just have Jeff Carson involved into a crash. We didn't make one lap, Brandon, and somebody was up into the wall bouncing off. Let's go back on the freaky fast replay here and see exactly what happened, man. He was already wrecked.
That was it. He and Stephen Carey got into it coming out of turn 2, just a little bit of a touch on the doors, but going into turn 3, the 81 it looked like he didn't turn. Just kind of went straight up and then tried to 50-50 grind that safer barrier there. I hate to tell you, Jeff, we're at Kentucky. It's not the X Games, man. We're not going to score you for that tonight.
Oh, what? I was going to give him a 9.7 on that. That was pretty nice. I mean, he rode that whole side of that wall.
Robert has turned me into the Russian judge.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Anyways, we sound like a bunch of rookies up here. And I am a rookie because, you can believe this or not, this is the first race I've ever called with these guys.
I had not thought about that. Yeah, ever since we've been doing this, it's been Zach and I up here in the booth.
I'm lost right now. I'm looking around going, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, that's all right. At least we're having some fun. Hopefully everybody's out there enjoying it. Don't forget to tune in later on tonight, too, when these Evolution drivers with the Cup cars here, Brandon, they bring them out here at Kentucky. And that's going to be a fun race to watch, too, with the horsepower and the draft package that is, in them cars here. From what I heard, it's a lot of side-by-side racing in turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can really stick side-by-side.
Yeah, you can carry a lot of speed in the Cup cars. There's just so much downforce and so much grip there for a number of laps. You can run almost wide open, especially 1 and 2. But just because you can run wide open on those things doesn't mean you want to. It's something we're going to talk about, I'm sure, later in this race. Turns 3 and 4. For a lot of drivers will tell you there, it's probably the most difficult set of corners in NASCAR. It's just so flat and deceiving there. It looks like there's a lot of grip, pretty sweeping corner, but the entry's pretty flat. The banking takes a while to get to you, and if you're not careful, you will overdrive that corner just a couple too many times, overheat the right front, and suddenly it just doesn't want to turn anymore.
That is correct. Yeah, I've seen that multiple times here, and I know these ARCA cars with dirty air just plays more of a hinder, more of a factor that these guys are going to have to think about after a couple laps on their tires, and you get these tires heated up, and you get behind somebody. They're going to have to take it easy, Brandon, and figure out when you want to get on the gas and off the gas and how much wheel input you need to be able to make the turns. Because like you said, it's eventually just going to, you're going to think you're going to be able to make the turn, and then all of a sudden you lose front lateral grip and bloop, you're right up into the wall. As it looks like we have Zach Hall muted, but he's here.
Hello, everybody.
Food?
Good to be up in the booth. Glad to join you.
Food? Where's my food?
I ordered cheese fries.
It was the problem was the lines. I just had to give up there, and was walking in through the booth here, and all of a sudden I heard a loud bang out there, and I think we had a caution, didn't we, guys?
Yeah, at 81 at Jeff Carson, getting a little out of shape, going into the backstretch there, and then turn 3 just kind of didn't turn, and went and grinded the safer barrier down a little bit. Robert gave him a pretty high score, but I was like, no, you're going to have to do more to impress me, Jeff.
Oh, man, looks like that pace car is going to pull in. Glad to join everybody here at Freaky Fast Broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here for the ARCA Evolution Series as they're going green flag racing back here after our first caution night brought to you by Nissan Central. We're back green flag racing with Anthony Gaudio after that second place finish last week, looking to rebound here, Brandon. Looks like a good start.
Yeah, talked to him about it in his pole award interview there, and he laughed when I said he came up just a little bit short and was maybe looking for some redemption here, and he sounded pretty confident, Zach. He said he's hoping to keep it together. It felt like he had a lot of speed, and I made sure to let him know that he needed to keep the paint nice and crisp.
Yeah, definitely got to keep the paint nice and crisp on that 3. It's definitely pretty out front, definitely in that gold number 3. But look at the battles ensuing further back here at the Kentucky Speedway. It was like Malarkey trying to hold off Carey and Richard Gonzalez. Gonzalez working that upper groove, Carey on the bottom in that 83. Really trying to put pressure on Malarkey here for that second position.
Yeah, seeing a lot of speed coming out of that second line in 1 and 2 at the moment. I think we're going to see them start to really make that the preferred line as the run goes on here. And through 3 and 4, inside lane still going to be pretty good. But in my experiences here, especially after the update to the track surface, that second lane becomes pretty viable. But if you take care of your stuff and really manage it, that inside lane will work for you the entire race.
Yeah, it's not been too bad for the 6. Like you said, I think it can definitely come in later as it goes. Definitely in 3 and 4, I think you have a little more options. But looking back at David Edwards, who is our points leader, he is sitting here in the 7th position so far during this race, and he's a driver to watch out for. I think this track, for some reason, I don't know why, but when you think of Kentucky, I just think of that suiting David Edwards. So this could be one for him to possibly drive through the field here tonight and have a good shot at this thing.
Well, I don't even know about a win being on the mind of David Edwards now. I think now it's just trying to outpace the 14 and Chris Sproul. As of late, Sproul's been able to eat into that points lead David Edwards has had. And he just needs to kind of regain a little bit of that, actually having a really good shot at it tonight. It seems like Chris Sproul a bit more off pace than we're used to seeing out of that 14, back in 8th position now. That's where he qualified, but David Edwards qualifying just behind him, but up 2 spots now to 7th, looking to chase down the 6th of Richard Gonzalez and then make short order of the top 5.
Yeah, and you can see right here, Sproul actually starting to close into the back bumper here of the 15 of David Edwards. And both these drivers, like we said, they've had a pretty good battle so far through the season with the points. And Edwards starting off with a real hot streak, and then Sproul lately been the driver to beat. We're seeing that battle now take place on track, and that's kind of, we haven't really seen them battle too many times. It seems like when one's having a good race, the other one's not having as good as a race.
That's the way it seems so far. You know, Watkins Glen a pretty good indicator that Sproul up there leading and battling for the lead majority of the race, and David Edwards seemed like he was just trying to hang on and survive and pick off guys that maybe got themselves into trouble. But the battle for the lead was forming there not too long ago, Zach, but they were 3 wide for a short bit across the stripe, and Justin Malarkey rolling out of the center there. Anthony Gaudio just being able to continue to hold on here, but Stephen Carey seeming to find a lot of pace here right up against the back bumper of that 3.
Yeah, Stephen Carey looking very strong. Brian Fine still trying to get by Malarkey with Justin Hendry too. We got to talk about him going up through the middle there under Malarkey. He's going to take position from Malarkey. I think Fine's going to take that spot, but Malarkey races side by side with Hendry down the front straightaway. This battle here for that 4th, 5th position right now on the racetrack with 12 laps in. I think it's stacking up back to also for the 6th of Richard Gonzalez, Chris Morrow side by side, the 4 of Harold Hoffman.
Yeah, from about 3rd place back to 8th or so, it's these guys are right on top of each other, and they're slowly starting to reel in the guys up front here. That second pack. Leaders had pulled out a decent sized gap, but now slowly starting to get reeled in as these guys have gotten single filed out, not really racing each other too hard. It's a bit of a swing from what we normally see. We normally see, you know, 1 or 2 guys that just kind of pull away and battle each other at the start of the race here, but now the front 8 or so still really similar in pace.
Now also, Brandon, this is interesting with the 50% fuel load. Can they do, you know, can they make it? That's the question on a 1 stop. Because they're definitely going to have to pit at least once, but I think it's on the edge of being possibly 2.
Well, if I was worried about that at all, I wouldn't even be trying to set, you know, these quick speeds up here, trying to make passes to get up toward the lead. I'd be trying to think about ways that I could save fuel but make a decent amount of pace, just stretch it a little bit further. Even if you can go 1 lap further now and then 1 lap on your next stop, on the next stint, that 2 whole laps, that might be the difference between having to make that 3rd stop and just coasting across the line for a victory.
Yeah, because you got to think of 50% fuel load, so, you know, to do that, that means they'd have to be able to make at least half of this distance of this race. on a 50% load, and I just don't see being able to go, 75 on a full tank. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is a two-stop race.
Well, it's going to be really interesting strategy if that is the case, because they've only got, I believe, the one set of tires in the pits that they're going to be able to swap out. So there's going to have to be one of those pit stops that you're going to have to just take fuel only.
That actually adds a lot of factors to this. So, yeah, and those pit stops could open up at 25. I mean, man, this is getting crazy. Is Brian Fine driving forward, too, in that 98? He's up taking the second position at the moment from the 83 of Stephen Carey. So what a drive for him. And, oh, my man, the battle between these drivers here. David Edwards cutting up through the 1500 points here. He is really driving on through.
I was going to say, Brian Fine looking to be the fastest car on the racetrack. Then I looked down the scoreboard here and saw David Edwards even a 10th quicker than Brian Fine. So Edwards really capitalizing on his speed here. Chris Roll still kind of mired back, just now making a pass on Justin Hendry, or battling for Justin Hendry right now. But David Edwards still on the charge. But now Malarkey putting some pressure on the 15 for fourth position.
Man, this is great battling we're seeing here early in Kentucky for these guys in the ARCA Evolution Series. And look at this Malarkey get to the back bumper of Carey. He's going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway. David Edwards on the top. The middle is Stephen Carey. The bottom, Justin Malarkey, 3 wide down to turn 1. Don't think that's going to work now. They settle out the 2 wide as Malarkey clears both of them.
Well, I think that was a bit of an Uno reverse card out of the 73. Stephen Carey pulled that exact same move to put Malarkey 3 wide in the middle there. Had Carey have to roll out of it this time to Malarkey's advantage. And Justin Malarkey's had quite a lot of speed so far this season. Looking to now chase back down Brian Fine. We'll have to see what they run across the line this time. See what their pace is compared to each other. But right now, Brian Fine looking to be the quickest car on the track, then followed by Justin Malarkey, a couple hundredths slower, but 2/10 slower for that of our leader from Brian Fine, and then a 10th slower compared to Justin Malarkey. So they're slowly reeling him in.
Well, I tell you, we've been running through a little bit in the cars here, and the one I noticed, 14, Christopher Schmerl going forward. He's up to that top 5, our second place man in points, but look at the battle behind him. Harold Rothbury in that 4, and Matt Upbrook starting to catch the back end of this with Stephen Carey and the 20, and Justin Hendry. And both Justin Hendry and Stephen Carey, both drivers who went forward early, but definitely suffering at this point of the run, like 20 laps in.
And it's something I'm seeming to notice that, tracks where it's in the daytime, it really hurts you to get that short run speed out of it just because of how quickly the tires are able to get up to temp. Whereas a race that takes place at night, it really benefits you to be able to get the car pushed to the limit early on to build those temperatures early, because it seems the car just really comes alive after that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a lot of these drivers are finding different stuff as the run goes on right now. I'm seeing them search a little bit. Different groove here and there in 3 and 4 especially. You'll see one driver really right on that patch of asphalt right there. And then you'll see Edwards up a little bit on the racetrack. And it's definitely interesting to see a little bit of a differentiation of the lines there. Maybe trying to find a little bit of clean air or find a little bit of grip there that nobody else has found. Look at this Malarkey going for the battle here for third.
Well, I watched last time by that Chris Smerol tried a little bit more of a sweeping entry to turn 3, got a good run out of center, but it seems like it was pushing pretty tight off the corner on the exit of 4. But carrying a lot of speed here, going to try to take advantage of Malarkey making that pass over David Edwards to try to do the same thing here. Not quite going to work, as David Edwards getting a pretty good run out of turn 4.
Edwards is looking strong, but just, he went forward there, then Malarkey kind of went backwards, and then now he's starting to go forward. So it's kind of that yo-yo effect we get here with people saving tires. Looks like Malarkey's starting to come into his own here after qualifying second, trying to get back up here as he's caught up to the back bumper of Brian Fine now.
And last time by, Justin Malarkey was almost 3/10 quicker than the 98 of Brian Fine. Should be able to make that pass pretty quickly here. Ooh, almost gets up into the wall a little bit tight, but going to be cutting underneath the 98 for that second position. But now the battle directly behind them for 4th and 5th is going to be 1st and 2nd in our point standings. Just trying to stay ahead of one another here to gain points or stretch the lead. But man, they still got a lot of speed as well, and they're going to have to navigate the 98 of Brian Fine.
Yeah, looking to get by Brian Feiner. He was going so quick there for a moment, then starting to lose a little bit of time. There goes David Edwards by. Now Sparrow working that bottom lane off of 4. Yeah, it looks like our top 2 in points going to have somewhat of a battle here tonight to see who can put themselves on the podium. And we could see the points swing a little bit of a way here for one of those drivers, and especially the momentum, Brandon.
Yeah, I know Chris Merle, he's got plenty of momentum. I don't think he really needs any more. If he gets any more, I don't think he'll ever be able to stop. He'd be racing in his sleep. But David Edwards, he's desperately in need of some of a sort of momentum here, a good finish. His points gap that he had, he's been able to sustain the lead despite the subpar finishes that he's had lately, and I'm sure running right now, he's quite happy with it, but definitely wants to keep that 14 behind him, and like you said, try to gain some points here to stretch that lead out.
Yeah, you can see Sparrow really putting the pressure on the back bumper of the 15. David Edwards slides up the racetrack a little bit. Sparrow to the inside, down the back straightaway. 14 and Christopher Sparrow trying to do his best to put himself in the top 3. He slides by the 15 of David Edwards, and he says, "We'll try to do that in the points, but at the low, we'll take it for the races." David Edwards going to fight back on the inside with a little bit of a crossover. I think Sparrow should have lane clear. He does, and he'll take over third heading down the road.
Yeah, it seems to me that Sparrow just has a little bit more grip in the center. I think he's just backed up his corners a lot more early on in this run. Not being super aggressive. It's really paying off here as we're on lap 27, coming to start lap 28 now. Just seems to have a little bit more life in that right front, able to really carry a lot more speed into the corner and through the center, and it's paying off pretty well. But David Edwards, despite not having that center speed, able to really get good launches out of the corner and keep right with him.
Yeah, he's got past, but just not letting him get away. While Malarkey and Gaudio, those two looking to be the class of the field possibly here, as they've stretched their legs on the battle between these two for the 3rd position. And that's a good sign for these two, because, you know, we have the number 1 and number 2 guys right here. Oh, it's up in front of this Malarkey hitting pit road this time. Same with Anthony Gaudio. So all of the top drivers except our top 2 in points hitting pit road here, Brandon. This is going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I definitely don't think these guys can make it on one stop, so they will have to at least make one more.
Yeah, we've also got the 98 of Brian Fine on pit road, the 28 of Justin Hendry, Stephen Carey in the 38, and Harold Rothery in the 4. They all called out they were pitting, and Anthony Gaudio and Justin Malarkey. Anthony said, "Okay, I'm going to come into pit this time. Get in the queue. Some guys are going in, don't want to get undercut too much." And Malarkey said, "You know what? I'm going to shadow you right in." So these guys are on pit road. We're going to have to see how long it takes before our front runners now decide to take it down pit road, because if they wait too much longer, they're going to be giving up a whole chunk of time. Looks like Matt Upbrook in the 16 going to be coming down pit road this time by, as well as the 55 of Matthew Dude.
Lots of differing strategies playing out at the moment. Sparrow and Edwards still sitting out front on lap 30 of 75. They are going to need to at least make it to around 38 to 39 to really want to have a good shot and make it to instinct. Yes, they're going to hit pit road here. So yes, one more stop involved for all these drivers. Don't think anybody will be able to make it. Here's Richard Gonzalez. See if he comes down this time. Yes, he does on lap 30. And does the 77 follow? No, he does not. So Jake Shea is going to stay out here and lead a lap.
Well, it looks like Anthony Gaudio taking some chances there to get around the 28 of Justin Hendry on the apron. It's pretty bumpy down there since the resurfacing, but made that pass pretty easy there. And getting the call, Jake Shea going to be coming in this time by, which if Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. does not come in, he will inherit the lead here. And then the 2 is Steven Rasick directly behind him.
Well, I tell you what, there's a reason why we see the 3 being very, very aggressive of Anthony Gaudio. He has made some type of mistake on pit road there, Brandon. I think he has slid through the box because the amount of time he has given up to Malarkey is pretty good. And I'm about to go back here and check exactly what happened. Oh, too short in the box, actually. It's easy to do when you're trying to be a little bit conservative when you have a lead. He did have a lead like that, so not surprised to see that play out for him.
Yeah, and as it looks right now, he's got almost a full straightaway. It's pretty much the distance of the backstretch between Malarkey and Gaudio that he has, that Anthony Gaudio has given up just with that tiny mistake during green flag pit stops. Mistakes under caution are one thing, but you give up so much more when you're trying to avoid them on green flag stops here, and that's pretty good visual of what happens, how much time you actually gain, because Anthony was quite a bit ahead of Malarkey, a little over a second and a half, I believe, when they came in for those stops, and now looking to be somewhere around, I believe, 4 seconds behind. So pretty substantial loss for the 3.
Wow, that shows you how pit stops can really be the key to winning the race, man. Especially green flag ones like this. You have to be perfect. Oh, man, the two of Steven Racing out here leading the race. Oh, he's having major issues out here. Unsure if is that car out of fuel or here on lap 34. Looks like he's up to power, but he hit the wall. He's having definitely some issues for this too. It looks like he'll maybe be hitting pit road this next time by because he's the only car to make it to lap 34 here. And yeah, I think he's pitting this time.
Well, unfortunately, he's going to be giving up a whole lot of time here. Will be our leader, Justin Malarkey. Just now entering 3 as Steven Racing's getting slowed down for pit road entry. Should be getting past right as he goes past the cones. A little bit after that there, but now Justin Malarkey back to the lead. Anthony Gaudio able to close in that gap, now only 1.6 seconds back. I tell you what, Anthony is digging right now, trying to get back to Malarkey.
This guy is pushing. He's putting purple laps down, man. It's impressive. I mean, last time by, he was over a second quicker than Malarkey. I think Malarkey's also, he knows what situation this is. They're pretty even on speed there at the end of the last run. He can save a little bit depending on the same lap. Gaudio's got to use a little bit to get to him. He should be able to stretch his legs here once Gaudio gets to him.
And I think he's also got to be considering, Zach, that if they have to pit again, knowing that they're not going to be able to change tires, if they pit even with each other, that's going to give the advantage to Malarkey. If he can save a little bit, he's just going to have that late race pace, whereas Gaudio is, especially, if he's going to be making another mistake, he's just not going to be able to make up the time. So really just a conservative play here out of the 73, given the position over pretty easy to Anthony Gaudio, but Anthony looking to take it pretty easily as well, just flying right now. Still looking quite a bit faster. Let's see, last time by, again, another second quicker for the 3.
Yeah, the 3 is just flying. I mean, I don't really know what's going on here, Brandon. I mean, like, is something wrong with Malarkey's car?
Did Malarkey save his set for the last pit stop?
Oh, that's very true, Brandon. That is, yes. I didn't even, I was just thinking the whole time here, why is he so much slower? He did not take tires, and that's another reason why he came out so much farther ahead. So Malarkey set himself up for the run at the end of the race. Gaudio setting him up for the tires now. Oh, man, this goes green. How does this all play out? I do not know.
And I think this is very wise for Anthony to do now. I was concerned about maybe he's just burning his stuff up too much. Malarkey's going to be in the exact same situation later on with maybe not even as much laps as Anthony's going to have here. So Anthony is really doing the exact same strategy, just a stint earlier, going out and burning up the tires, getting as much of a gap as you can possibly get, and hoping that it's more than what Malarkey's able to gain on him when Malarkey gets the fresh tires.
Wow, and I tell you, the only thing that doesn't play out well is that mistake on pit road that he had. That definitely sets him back a little bit. He's going to have to make up more time. He's definitely going to have to show what kind of pace is in that 3 car. But, man, the strategies here definitely coming out of left field for me, Brandon. And tell you what, I think Smerroll on the same strat there running a 31.73 last time by about the same as our leader. So, looks like a few guys, anybody in the high 32 second bracket, they're on the old tires. The guys on new tires seem like they're in the high 31 second bracket. So we're looking at about a second of a lap difference for some of these drivers out here on the racetrack. Looks like that Brian Fine, David Edwards also on the same strategy as Malarkey, while Gaudio, Smerroll, and Rothery are all on the fresher tires.
Well, hopefully this can pull off or come out to be a good finish that Harold Rothery is able to pull off. Running 4th right now, I know Harold Rothery in that 4 car wanting a really good finish here. He absolutely deserves one. Had some pretty good pace up here, dicing it up with these guys. Showed a lot of speed tonight, especially. I've got to imagine that just because this is going to be a bit longer of a run, that this may work out for the guys that try this strategy on their second stint that they're going to have to do, rather than the first. And talking about the issue on pit road for Anthony Gaudio, I think that it kind of evens out a good bit just because of the difference on tires. Had he been the one taking no tires and made that mistake, I think that would have been a much bigger issue, but because he's able to set so much faster lap times, I think he's kind of already washed that away, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm questioning now, when does the guys who haven't took tires pit, when do they come in earlier than the other drivers? I mean, there's so much you can ask yourself. I think within 30 to go almost, you really want to be hitting pit road. So I'd say in the next 2 really to 5, 6 laps, I'd be hitting pit road trying to get my final stop done if I hadn't took tires yet.
Yeah, I think the exact same. Go the absolute second you know that you can make it to the end of this race, and especially with the guys, the fall off over a second over the course of just 20, 30 laps, it's pretty big. Right now, you're not going to have as huge of an advantage, only a couple tenths, but that advantage is slowly going to come more and more in your favor, especially when they have to pit later on in the run here. So I think, like you said, come down. We should be seeing guys, if they're going to try it in the next lap or so, see if we can get any takers on that.
This is going to be, I don't even know how it's going to all play out. Personally, I kind of like the strategy of waiting, but I also kind of like the strategy of just going. I mean, I definitely think you got to pit as soon as you can make it, though, because you're kind of just giving up time. Because the way, looking at lap times, once you get to about a 32.5, you kind of run anything from a 32.5 to a 32.7 from there on out. So, you're kind of going to be running the same lap time over and over again. Might as well get the freshest tires in there as soon as possible, and your tires will even out before the end, and maybe you'll come out in front.
Yeah, it's just trying to play it in such a way that your gain that you're going to be able to get over them is better than what they've just gotten over you. And right now, looking at it, Anthony Gaudio had a 4-second gap. Chris Roll able to close that down just a little bit now, 3.5 seconds gap to our leader. Harold Rothery now 4.4 seconds behind our leader. And Justin Malarkey on the older tires now back to 7.8 seconds behind our leader, and that is going to continue to grow here. But I think Anthony may have backed off a little bit, only 3/10 slower, or 3/10 faster now than Justin Malarkey, the first car on those older tires.
Yeah, he's definitely slower than Smerol right now, who's on the same pretty much set of tires. Actually, a little bit fresher than Anthony's tires. And Harold Rothery too. His lap time's looking really good before, so they're definitely closing in right now on Anthony. But Malarkey only 8 seconds back, but still fresh tires to put on. I think he's going to be put in a really good position here.
Oh, absolutely, because Gaudio was able to make up a little, or pretty much right around 8 seconds with his fresh tires. He was about 4 seconds behind Malarkey, and then stretched the lead out to about 4 seconds, I believe, by the time Smerol was able to make the pass on Malarkey. So I think this evens out pretty well. It's going to be a pretty close to the finish, I'm thinking here. We're going to have to keep pretty close eye on these guys and what their pace is, just to see how close this is actually going to be.
Don't miss any of the action here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. All you fans out there, thank you for tuning in always here. It's been a pleasure so far. This race has been really great. Caution on the first lap, and we went green since. No Ord Nissan Central cautions waving out there. But I can tell you what, we've seen drivers fighting for this lead with multiple different strategies. Anthony Gaudio out front right now, trying to be that Sheffield Graphics race winner. Man, the way this is all going to play out here soon, I think Malarkey, he can't wait too long. Only 25 to go. I think he needs to pit.
He's on pit road right now.
Okay, there you go. I was thinking, it's getting down to that time. Malarkey needs to hit pit road, and he's going to do it now. I think that's a good call there. Don't wait too long.
I'm hoping that he did not wait a little bit too long. If Anthony or Chris Smerol, any of these guys that are on the fresher tires decide to pit now, it's going to be a little bit harder for Malarkey to make up that time. He needs them to keep going just a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's, he could jump them technically while they come down the pit road if they wait too long to come down and put fuel in their car. So if I'm Anthony Gardia, I think I need to pit now, and at least that makes sure I can be out on track. He's got to pass me on track and not in the pits.
Yeah, if Anthony waits too long, or any of these guys on this fresher tire strategy or wait too long and get passed while they're in the pits, they are never going to catch the guys on the fresher tires. That's just not going to happen. Even if we get a late caution, they're still going to get outpaced on the restarts. That'll be kissing their chance at a win goodbye here. So I think now that you've seen these guys come in, you have to come down pretty quickly.
Looking at the 4 Harold Rothery right now running in the 3rd position. Great run for him. Started at 11th. So I personally, Brandon, this is his best run of the season I've seen so far out of this 4. And that's good to see for him.
It really is. And you see on his inside, Anthony Gaudio going on down pit road now. But Anthony Gaudio, Harold Rothery making that pass up to 2nd place here. Like I said, really hoping that he can keep this thing together and come out of it with a good finish. Absolutely needing and deserving one in that 4 car. And I'm sure that'd be a lot of excitement if we can get to talk to him up here in the booth at the end of this race.
Anthony Gaudio, our race leader, hit pit road. Going to get fuel only this time as he's already took tires. Here comes Chris Merle, our new race leader. That's going to hand the lead over to Harold Rothery here. He's going to lead himself a lap here at the Kentucky Speedway. And the gap between Malarkey and Gaudio looks like Malarkey coming out of 4 right now as Gaudio is exiting 2. So it is a good gap. I mean, it's a straightaway in the corner. It's going to be tough for Malarkey to do this because that pit stop's faster too. You got to think about that. But man, I think Malarkey could do it with the tires though. I really do.
Yeah, the consistent pace of those tires, you got to think just a second every single lap being faster. It's going to not quite be that big compared to Gaudio as what Gaudio had to Malarkey when he decided to take his fresh tires. But still, that is a substantial amount of time every single lap, and we've still got now a little under 25 laps to go here, about 22 laps to go, still plenty of time, and especially if Anthony gets caught up behind maybe some slower guys that he's just going to have to get a little bit out of line for, check himself up to make those passes. It really opens the door for Malarkey.
Yeah, with all this different strategy being played, there's going to be so many different drivers on sets of tires and drivers on not sets of tires. You're going to see drivers right here during this phase of the race almost getting run over. So you can lose time anywhere on this racetrack. Right now, Richard Gonzalez in that 2nd position still, as he transfers actually over to the lead as Rothery did hit pit road. So yeah, Richard Gonzalez out front in the 60. You can see he's been utilizing the high line the whole race.
I think he's feeling comfortable up there. Like there's some late run pace right now, but just with the low fuel load and the sequencing of when everybody's having to come into pit here, there's not really been a really good late run to put that to use. And he's going to have to come down pit road here before too long. I think he may just be waiting on a caution, maybe try to catch some guys out here because he last pit on lap 30. And from what we've seen so far, he's not going to be able to make it to the end of this race.
Yeah, 6th Richard Gonzalez not going to make it on fuel, so having to pit still at some point for the 6th. I definitely feel like he's definitely waiting for a caution. I mean, if he didn't take a set of tires either, Brent, that's the question. If he didn't take a set of tires and he gets a caution, into the wall there on the entry, that was a hard lick here. Gaudio going to be not too far behind, but like I was saying, if he gets a caution here and he has a set of tires, he's in a great spot.
Yeah, he really is. Man, I just feel like he's waited far too long to come in to make his pit stop, especially with the leaders now going to be just behind him. Gap now at 3 seconds even and closing relatively quickly here. By the time he comes out, I think he may end up falling all the way back to about the 13th position or 12th position. That'd be the last car on the lead lap. Oh man, I just feel like it's a little bit too long, but you know what? Richard's got some airtime tonight. We're sitting here talking about him, so he can be happy about that at least. Maybe not getting the best finish, but if we get that caution, he's going to look like a genius.
That's very true, and we can confirm he does not have set tires, so doesn't look good for Richard Gonzalez right now. Trying to stretch it though and make something out of nothing here. But here's Malarkey, the driver on the charge. He's about 10 seconds back, Brandon. Can he do it? 31.43 last time by to Anthony Gaudio's 32.45, so a second per lap right now at the moment. It's got to be pretty close.
Yeah, and that's hoping that your tires do not give up more than Anthony's are able to even out. He's running pretty consistent lap times, lap after lap, that of Anthony Gaudio, whereas we know Justin Malarkey, eventually his tires, they're not going to have that same speed, and they're going to give up just a little bit now, closing up on the back bumper, Harold Rothery for that 4th position. Harold going to swing very wide here, make sure he's got plenty of room to make that pass, and now continue the charge. Didn't get checked up too much by that, so a little bit more in the favor of the 73 to make that charge.
You know, I was just thinking of the strategies, how they played out here, Brandon. For the 3 Anthony Gaudio and the drivers who took their tires on the first stop, that is a pretty risky call, because you think about it, if a caution comes out now, they are sitting ducks.
Absolutely, and if it's going to go green, you want to be the car that's having to be chased down, because all you have to worry about is being consistent, whereas the rest of the guys, they're going to have to be driving 110% here to get absolutely everything they can. And on the flip side, like you said, if they get a caution, especially with where the track position is right now, Justin Malarkey going to be in 3rd place on the restart if it were to come out right now. These guys at the front, the only thing saving them right now is the gap that they've been able to build up. But once the caution comes out, that is completely gotten rid of. And I believe at that point, Malarkey'd be gone to the lead and sailing off to the checkered flag by the exit of turn 2.
We'll have to see how it all plays out here. Don't miss it. Malarkey closing that time in. This time by 7.1 seconds back. And about 0.8 of a second faster with 13 to go. I don't think he has enough time.
0.8, 13 to go, 6.8 now. I mean, the math is there. It's just when does he hit that point where his tires just say, okay, we can't give you what you're asking for.
That's my worry.
Yeah, that's the biggest concern right now, I think.
I think that gap's not going to drop as rapid as it has, and it's getting there that time. 0.6, only 0.6 that time instead of 0.8. So it's going to be diminishing returns. I think he gets back to 2nd for sure as he's closing in on teammate Christopher Smerol. And Smerol has a pretty good gap back to Brian Fine, who's running a 32 flat right now compared to Smerol's 32.5. So about a half second quicker. Don't think that position will be in jeopardy with 11 to go, but I don't think Smerol's going to make it too tough on his teammate Malarkey here with 11 to go, since he knows he has new tires and he's trying to chase the leader now.
Well, last time by, I don't know if it was just the dirty air that he was finally getting off the nose of the 14, but now down to 0.7 faster for that of Justin Malarkey. Finally knocking himself into the 32-second lap time bracket here with everybody else. But right now, Brian Fine looking to be quickest on the racetrack by a good bit. 31.8 last time. We'll have to see what it is as he comes across the line this time. But I imagine he'll still be the only car in the 31 seconds. And I say that, and he puts down a 32.10. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Well, I can't confirm he did do a 32 the lap before, the one you see in a 31. So, he's got the pace there, but it's just been kind of hit or miss there the last few laps. But Malarkey back up to 2nd. Coming to 9 to go as Gaudio goes down into 1. Malarkey's going to cross the line now as Gaudio is into 1. Man, half a straightaway between these top 2 here. And I don't see Malarkey being able to do it with only a 0.6 of a second margin between the 2. But anything can happen. Gaudio makes a mistake. Malarkey could be there pretty quickly.
Yeah, 0.6 here. It's looking like he's going to need about 7 laps at the current pace, but he has to maintain that pace every single lap to even have a chance to get him on the white flag. And that just opens up the door for Gaudio to just throw a block and shut down his momentum, and then that's the only chance he's going to have. But now this time by, only 0.5 of a second greater for Malarkey there, now within 4 seconds of the lead.
I tell you what, he's also behind Malarkey is the 48 of Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. He's closing in on new tires, and that may not help Malarkey as he's going to go up the inside of him here with 6 to go.
And that's if you're Malarkey, that's really not what you're wanting to see. You're going to have a guy taking away your preferred line here as you're trying to chase down the leader in the closing stages of this race still. And now he's just dead even with him. This is really going to hurt Malarkey. I think this just kind of, if Malarkey had a chance, I think it's done now. He had to give up a lot of time that he could have gained there during that set of corners. And now he's going to have a bit of dirty air on his nose as well to slow him down even more.
Yeah, that was no help for Malarkey. You know, Fitzpatrick doing his own thing. He's got to race his own race. But just when you're that car second, you're closing in, that's the last thing you want to see because, yeah, only 2 tenths there made up that time. And the lap before, it was 7 tenths. So a 3.3 second gap with 6 to go. He can still do it, though, if he just really puts his mind to it here. But it's going to take a lot of time each lap.
He's going to have to absolutely melt those tires now. It should be out of this set of corners now. Underneath 3 seconds now, 2.9 on the exit of turn 4. We'll have to see what the line or the lap time difference is this time by. We're going to have 5 laps to go. A decent amount, another 5 tenths.
Yeah, he can do it here. Let's see, 5 to go. He's got to close in completely each lap. I mean, and if these other cars catch Anthony Gaudio, they could become a factor because he's actually slower than the cars behind him. So, man, 4 to go here. Let's see the gap this time. I believe it's around 2.4 seconds. And it looks like 4 tenths of a second that time by. That's not going to cut it. He needs at least right now 6 tenths of a second per lap. And with 4 to go, I don't think it's going to happen.
I think just a little bit too late there for Justin Malarkey. But Bob Fitzpatrick Sr., if he can get there maybe on the white flag lap, slow him down just a little bit, it might open up the door for Malarkey. But as it stands right now, just the speed difference a little bit too great. Or too little rather for Justin Malarkey to make up that lap time now. Another 4 tenths just now cracked inside of 2 seconds behind our leader here.
Yeah, he's under that 2 second barrier, but don't think it's enough time here going down into 3. He's definitely gonna get within a pretty good distance here as we come into 2 to go this time here. Here comes Fitzpatrick also. He can get there on the white flag possibly. We could see maybe some fireworks fly as that's down to a 1.6 second gap. Malarkey going to need around 8 tenths here per lap if he wants any chance of this thing.
Well, we saw how much it slowed down Malarkey when Bob Fitzpatrick was able to get to him here. See if maybe it's even a little bit more for that of Anthony Gaudio if he can get to him. I know that's what Malarkey is hoping as they're coming around to take the Sheffield Graphics white flag.
One final time here tonight. Sheffield Graphics white flag in the air. Anthony Gaudio, 1.2 second lead back to Justin Malarkey. He's made up 4 tenths last time by. The lap car of Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. there directly behind. Gaudio looking to win here after last week coming up short at his home track at Watkins Glen. After sitting on the pole, he's going to come home here in clean domination. Anthony Gaudio off of turn 4 will be your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight at Kentucky Speedway.
Well, Malarkey coming home 7 tenths behind Anthony Gaudio there, just not quite enough time. There was an opportunity for Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. to go to the inside of the 3, decided not to there and make sure that he was not impeded on his last set of corners to go ahead and come across the checkered flag. Man, that was one heck of a strategy for Malarkey. They're just a little bit too short on that, but that was a great try. And congrats to Gaudio for rebounding second place last week. And winning at Kentucky here. Chris Merle going to be third as well, getting some valuable points for himself.
Man, what a win for Anthony Gaudio and that 3 machine. He's going to bring it down to the front straightaway here and burn it down as he's tonight's ARCA Evolution Series winner here at Kentucky. And congrats to him. But we will take a small break here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get our top 3 drivers up here and have a quick chat with them about their night here at the Kentucky Speedway. We'll be right back. All right, we're back here, everybody, for our post-race interviews tonight here at the Kentucky Speedway for the ARCA Evolution Series. First man up is our second place man in points, making up a couple more points on that points leader, David Edwards. Here tonight is Chris Merle, as he's able to bring home third here tonight at Kentucky. Hey, Chris, is Zach up in the booth, man? You got a copy?
Hey, man, long time no see.
Yeah, right, man. Definitely been a long time, my friend, I guess we could say. But good to have you back up here after not too long ago. So, a common occurrence up here in the booth, man. But I tell you what, tonight here, another solid run, but somewhat of a quiet run, with the long green flag runs we had here tonight. Kind of, just was in the mix there, working your way up with it. Not the greatest qualifying run, but you're able to work your way into that mix and get the top 3 here tonight, Chris. So how was the race out here in Kentucky?
Yeah, I'll be honest. We MR73 came into it, and we were throwing around some strategy right at the last second, and we kind of had a variety of opinions. But yeah, I mean, I've never been known for my hot laps, so I just figured I'd put my head down and try to do what I can, preserve the tires, do all that. And we ended up on. I'm sure Justin will talk about it when he gets up here, but we ended up on completely different strategies. I ended up taking my tires. I got a little confused with the team orders there, and they didn't. But I guess at the end of the day, it ended up working out all right because we had a couple different strategies in play. So one of us was bound to be okay, and yeah, it worked out. It was great. That I love these, longer fuel strategy, tire saving type races. It mixes it up a little bit from the shorter runs, which are exciting too. But yeah, there's just the intensity of a long runs is yeah. There's a little bit of chess and checkers going on there as well. So it was a lot of fun, nice clean racing by everybody, and we were happy to come home with the P3 and the P2 for MR73.
Yeah, definitely was a great race for you guys, and interesting with the strategy too. Like you said, it was like you guys were on opposite ends of the spectrum, and it seemed to work out for both y'all. So it was cool seeing a lot of drivers playing it that way. I mean, we had a group of drivers on that strategy, taking tires like you did on the first stop, then had drivers not do it. So it definitely shook the race up there a little bit. But now, kind of heading into like the overall picture of the season here. You're in second place in points. You made up some more points again here with David Edwards tonight, battling with him and having some really good battles there. But we got 5 races left, and we head off to Pocono next week. What do you want to do before these 5 races before the playoffs kick off? What's the kind of things you want to get off the checklist, and then how you feel about Pocono next week?
Yeah, I think just trying to peak at the right time going into the playoffs is important, and just trying to dial everything in. To your point, trying to chip away at David Edwards on the points is I'm not anticipating a season long unless something happens, which I wouldn't want. If he can't make a race or something like that, I just don't see myself being able to finish up ahead of him enough points with the remaining races. So I'm just gonna focus on the overall season and make sure we're taking good notes and coming up with some good strategies, making sure our whole team is primed and ready for the playoff run. Pocono itself, it's just so different. I like it. I like that it's got 3 different corners to it that all require a little bit different finesse to it, and hopefully we can get some more long green flag runs so we can really start dialing in our fuel strategy for the playoffs.
Oh man, I tell you what, it's gonna be fun to watch you guys coming down to these final few regular season weeks and getting ready to head off into those playoffs. It's gonna get definitely pretty competitive there, and we can't wait for that. But man, I tell you what, great finish here for you tonight in third. Before we let you go, as always, Chris, who makes it happen for you, buddy?
Well, I got to give a special shout out to my wife. We're getting up early tomorrow, and she's going to have a baby. So we'll be watching the broadcast probably tomorrow morning and or afternoon, I suppose, and enjoying that there while we welcome our third bundle of joy to the world. So that'll be fun, and the rest of my family, obviously, for the support. And just shout out to Anthony for a heck of a win, just a perfectly executed race. I mean, hats off to the guy, and for all the other drivers who is just a lot of fun to race against week in, week out. Of course, the admins. And thank you guys again for what you do, and we will see you around, hopefully.
Hey man, congrats on the third place night, and congrats on the newborn. Hopefully it all goes as well, buddy, as the race win here tonight for you, and we will catch you next time, man.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you guys around.
Hey, you have a great night, man. All right, everybody. That was Chris Barole, your third place finisher here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway. He's definitely a man that is commonly up here during these ARCA Evolution races. He is very, very great, and he'll be one to watch out for as those playoffs start to head down here in the final weeks. But his teammate Justin Malarkey here tonight was so fast. Just definitely interesting strategies playing out. Let's hear how he played the strategy for himself. Hey, Justin, Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach. You guys have a fun one up there?
Oh, man. We had one. We were definitely out here trying to figure out what was going to play out, Justin, with all the different strategies playing out. I mean, you had Gaudio and your teammate Smarol both on the strategy to take tires on the first stop, where you elected to do it on the later stop. And, man, just coming up a little bit short, 0.7 of a second. It's got to feel a little bit bittersweet, but, man, what a race for you tonight. The pace was great for the 73.
Yeah. Car was really good on the long run. It was pretty much I was trying to figure out when to put those tires on at the end. I wanted to go in about 5 laps sooner, but I was afraid the caution come out and trap me a lap down. If I did go in 5 laps sooner, that probably would have been the difference just to get up there. But you can't play Monday morning quarterback here. But it was nice to stay caution free. I like long runs, and it was definitely a fun race. It had to be fun to try and broadcast up there, trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when we seen the first pit stops happen, we didn't even notice that Anthony didn't take tires on there. And then he passed you so quick that it kind of caught us all off guard a little bit. And then we were like, oh, yeah, they only have one extra set of tires in the pit. So it made a good, valid strategy for you guys to do stuff different there. And, man, he took a big risk, in my opinion, by doing that, too. If he catches a caution 10, 15 laps into that run, he's going to be in a pretty bad position where you're going to be looking like you're in a very good position. Is that why you kind of lean more towards that side of the strategy?
Yeah, I was hoping for that. I figured if a caution did come out, I'd be all right. But it can go either way, because here when I go in, I had to stay out there longer. I was down a lap while other guys were still out there doing their strategy. And if a caution came out there, I'd be trapped one down, even with the fresh tires. I'm just happy it stayed green because it let everyone's strategy played out. It was nice. There was nothing. It all worked out the way it should.
Hey,
I tell you what, though, I know exactly what I'm doing next time if we're in this situation. I know exactly where that 7/10 where I know exactly what I need to do to fix that.
Hey, man, I'm sure you will definitely fix that up, buddy. It is a great run for you tonight. It was fun to watch and fun for us to call. Before we let you go for second place here tonight, man, anybody want to send a shout out to you?
Yeah, shout out to my parents. They were helping me move rock all day today. We were tired. I'm hoping that they stayed up for this one. I'm sure they did because it was fun. And shout out to my sister Jamie and brother Artie. So definitely, and it'll be fun. We'll see you next week.
Awesome stuff, Justin, man. Well, we'll catch you at Pocono next week, buddy. Congrats on second here tonight, though.
Yeah, that's my home track, so I better do good, right?
Yeah, hey, man, we'll be watching for you as always.
Yeah,
You
by
have a
law,
great
you have to.
night. That's right. You have a great night, though, Justin.
See ya.
All right, everybody. That was Justin Malarkey, our second place finisher here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series. Let's move on to our race winner. Last week's second place just come up a little bit short. It's got to feel great to get the win here for tonight. Let's see what Anthony Gaudio has to say. Hey, Anthony, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, I tell you what, man, you're our Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway. And how does that feel after last week coming up just a little bit short at your hometown track in Watkins Glen? Now to come back here at Kentucky. And, man, I tell you what a performance here tonight. You and Malarkey, definitely the classes of the field. And your strategy, you played it right, and you were able to bring home that victory, man.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man, it feels great. That was different. I was not used to, this must be my first race that we did a 2-stop race. And so I just did not calculate it right. Like, I thought I made a mistake, honestly. The whole race while I was out front, I'm like, I messed up. Jeff comes in ready. He's like, and Jeff and Harold were like, man, did we get enough fuel? Because, I only took 5.1 gallons. I literally ran out of gas on my burnout, put it that way. And I got very lucky. I mean, Justin I seen that time getting chewed up every lap. He's getting quicker, and I'm sweating head to toe again.
Man, I tell you, because that race was definitely interesting. Like you said, it's our first really like a 2-stop.
Yeah.
And, with only one set of tires, Malarkey plays it the other way where he took it longer. You also made just a tiny mistake by stopping a little short in the box.
Yes.
That kind of worry you too about that. And then, I mean, it's got to be so like, how
I'm
is your
screaming
brain
on the radio? I'm like, Malarkey took 2. He took 2. He's gone. I'm like, what's going on here? Is he, And then I was like, oh wait, we got to stop again.
It threw us all too off, Anthony. I mean, when you called it back to back, it was.
I was going so like when I came out with the fresh 4, it was only lap 26, 27, and I'm like, I'm driving around these guys. Something's wrong. And then Jeff comes on the radio. He's like, yeah, man, we got to pit again. He's like, you might have messed up. So I'm like, you know what? Now I got to put the pedal down. And I was just running qualifying laps after qualifying laps because I needed to get that 4, 5, 6 second lead, because I come down for that splash and go. It was only, 3-second stop. And then that's it. And just give it all.
Oh, man, I tell you, you definitely gave it all tonight getting that victory. Second of the season.
Third.
Third. Oh, sorry. That's right. It is your third because I think one of them doesn't show up on the board, I think.
Yes,
Martinsville. Exactly. That's right. That's why. See, that one always tricks me. I thought it was your third, but I was like, maybe not. But, yeah, third win this season, the end of 3 car, too. That's cool to see. We got 5 races to go before we head off into the playoffs.
Pocono's next.
And Pocono's next. Yeah, I was about to say, how do you feel about that?
Another hometown track. It's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours for me. I'm there every year. I've never raced on the track, but I have hundreds and hundreds of laps on iRacing. I love it.
Well, it'll be really fun to see you go to Pocono next week after, especially the performance you put on this week here at Kentucky.
I'm gonna carry it over.
Yeah, exactly. We can see that back-to-back, man, and hopefully it does. But congrats on the 3rd win this season, man. Before we let you go and celebrate this, who makes it happen for you, Anthony?
First off, hats off to JCR Racing and giving us really fast cars. Second off, my family. Like I said, I'm always truly blessed, and this win was for my father. He was cheering me on. That one's for you, buddy.
Awesome stuff, Anthony. I tell you what, man, it's great to see the family members out there watching, and shout out to your dad there for tuning in. So, man, I tell you what, congrats on the victory, and we'll catch you next week at another hometown track for you there, buddy, at Pocono, Pennsylvania.
Hell yeah, man. See you there.
You too, buddy. You have a great night.
You too.
All right, everybody. That was Anthony Gaudio, your race winner here tonight, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics here at the ARCA Evolution Series at the Kentucky Speedway. What a race we've had. And we'll go ahead and pull up our race results and show you where your favorite drivers finished tonight's 75-lap event here at the Kentucky Speedway. Anthony Gaudio bringing home that victory, 3rd of the season there. You heard it from the man himself. 2nd's going to go to Justin Malarkey, and there his teammate will slide into the 3rd position of Chris Moreau. Fourth is going to be Brian Fine, that 98 machine. Points leader David Edwards will bring it home in a top 5 and 5th. Sixth is going to be Stephen Carey. Seventh is Justin Hendry. Eighth is going to go to Matthew Dew. Ninth is going to be Matt Upbrook. 10th place is going to go to Jake Ashe. 11th is going to go to Richard Gonzalez. 12th, Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. 13th is going to go to Harold Rothery. 14th, Stephen Rasick. 15th is going to go to Jeff Carson. And rounding out your field here tonight in the 16th position is Josh Holmes in the 000, as that is your race results from the Kentucky Speedway, man. It was a fantastic night of racing here so far, and we got more coming up after this here with the RSR Cup Series here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. Brandon, what's your thoughts on the ARCA race here and what we can see going into these next 5 weeks before these playoffs kick off?
Well, I think it's going to be more of the nail-biting finishes, just slight point gains between David Edwards and Chris Merle. And I'm thinking some of these guys have had really good runs, but just not quite able to pull off the good finishes to go along with them. And I will not be surprised if we see another couple first-time winners before the playoffs start. And I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that. And I've also got to say, congratulations to Chris Merle on the new child on the way. And secondly, if it's a boy and he doesn't name it Zach, I'm going to be very upset.
Oh no! Don't put that. Don't do it. No, you can't put that juju on that baby like that. Come on now, man. I tell you what, it would be an honor, Chris. Name it what you desire. That's what I would ask. So, congrats, like you said, to Chris Burrell on that too, and congrats to all these drivers out here. I mean, what a show they put over here tonight. One caution on the very first lap, and then we went green completely to the end with a 2-stop strategy. It was really, really cool to see how it all played out in the way it did, and I can't wait to go into the Cup Series race. I think we could see some good racing in these Cup cars here tonight. So I'm excited to see what these Cup cars can produce at 9:20 Eastern. So don't miss that there on YouTube here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And we'll send it up to Robert Moyer Jr. now to close out tonight's ARCA Series broadcast before we head off to the Cup Series.
All right. Yes, as like Brandon said, that's I was live when I started laughing. Yeah, Chris, if you I do believe he told us Sunday that it's a girl. So
Thank God.
I need some help here. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a girl's name that we can help Chris with the blend with Zach's here. But if anybody would know, hit us up out there on Facebook or in the chat or YouTube in the chat. Yeah. Okay, I just lost totally track of mine. That just totally caught me off guard. But anyways, like Zach said and Brandon, great calling. Great racing up here by these guys here. And make sure you stay tuned. Head on over to our YouTube. If you're already there, make sure you stay there because we will be live at 9:20 tonight with the RSR Cup Series here at Kentucky. But until then, go grab your coffee, grab your drinks, sit back, and get ready for some Cup racing here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We'll talk to you then. God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. I love